individuals, unfortunately, situations like the one we find here at the Table MA Basic School become impediments to realizing these dreams. What is government doing? What are duty bearers doing to ensure that the dreams of the likes of Philip come true? Solace Rose Corti, TV3, Table Ouija.
Quite an unfortunate situation there. Let's do some partisan politics. In Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the NDC, Joseph Adekoka, has justified the decision of all the 10 regional chairmen of the party to publicly rally their support behind former President John Mahama for the 2020 comeback. All 10 regional chairmen of the party, after meeting him on Thursday, called on the former president to urgently consider leading the NDC in the 2020 elections. He spoke with Alfredo Kanse on News 360.
In our capacity as the regional chairman, which we've got the mandate to speak on behalf of the region, our regional executives, that is what we have found out from our members, and that is what we have gone to tell the former president to do.
I see. Now, the former president himself over the weekend said that, coming out to declare his intention now is going to derail efforts in trying to solve the problems which got you to lose that election. And you're coming out now that it is urgent for him to declare his intention?
We have not asked him to declare. We have asked him to consider running. You see, people, the English language is there. He says consider. Nobody has asked him to go and run. When I asked you to consider to do something, I'm asking you to consider, go and think about it.
No, what is the urgency about it, really?
Yes, because he has to consider whether he's going to run or not. And we are saying he should urgently consider whether he's going to contest or not, because the party needs to make a move. So he has to consider. We are asking him, we are not asking him, we are not telling him go and contest. We said consider to run again.
Does that mean that the executives, a chairman, will not support the other 5 persons we know who have declared openly their intention to contest the party's flag bearership for the 2020 general elections?
No. People have got the right to contest. And we are also asking to consider to contest.
So how about the other 5?
We have not put our weight behind anybody. Neither have we put our weight behind him. We are saying he should consider to contest.
Well, there are those who say that you're finding some safe haven under the clouds of John Mahama, because as per some of the issues that came out during the Kwesi Botwe Committee's national tour, some people were blaming you, the national executives, for failing to do your job, which has led the party into opposition. So you're doing this to just keep your jobs.
We are not looking for any cover. We are saying you should consider to run, period.
Still staying in the camp of the NDC, the functional executives of the National Democratic Congress has warned party members to cease vilifying prospective candidates for various executive positions within the party. A statement signed and issued Friday by National Chairman of the party, Kofi Potofie, expressed worry about the pronouncements by some supporters of these prospective candidates on social and traditional media. The Functional Executive Committee reminded potential hopefuls, aspirants and their affiliates that such acts constitute anti-party conduct which destroys the cohesion within the party. Well, we're trying to get George Lawson. He is the Deputy Secretary of the National Democratic Congress, to speak to us about this particular issue. We're trying to make contact. When we get him, we'll put him online. Right now, let's do other stories. And Media Journals 3FM and Onia FM campaign to have Streets of Accra lighted is receiving support from corporate groups. The campaign, dubbed Let There Be Light campaign, has received donations of street light bulbs from Electrical Dealers Association of Ghana. The initiative is a developmental project by both radio stations aimed at getting streets of Accra lighted. The donation comes on the back of discussions on morning shows of both 3FM and Onua FM, where some major streets have come under discussion for having been without a proper lighting system for years. The Tema Motorway, Tema Aplao, Lavender Hill, Ashiye Dodowa and GIJ Police Headquarters streets came under special mention since the non-availability of street lights on these roads have resulted in attacks. Following discussions on the two stations, the Electrical Dealers Association has intervened to support the campaign with 40 streetlight bulbs. Speaking at the donation ceremony at the premises of MG Radio, a member of the association, Teddy Amwa, said the association is committed to contributing towards Ghana's development.
We, the Electrical Dealers Association, we are ever ready any time to support any project that we develop Ghana. We are going to do more than this. So we want all other electrical dealers to support this project. It's a good cause.
The head of news of MG Radio, Abraham Asari, expressed gratitude to the association, calling on other corporate organizations to get on board in restoring lights on the streets. He added his outfit is focused on seeing this campaign to a successful end through the help of other well-meaning Ghanaians.
We are also very much concerned about the things that happen in our communities. We are also part of the community. We are a radio station, we are a media house, but also part of the community. We also use our streets. So this project is to ensure that these challenges are reversed.
Well, our doors are still open for more of such donations. A lot more young girls are engaged in unsafe abortion. In 2016 alone, 9,612 cases of unsafe abortions were recorded. Although efforts are ongoing to curb the situation, experts want education on family planning to be intensified. Unsafe abortion is still a major cause of death, especially among young women. According to the latest WHO estimates, 25 million of all abortions that occurred every year worldwide between 2010 to 2014 were unsafe. The majority, that's 97% of unsafe abortions, occurred in developing countries like Ghana. It is estimated one woman dies from unsafe illegal abortion every 7 minutes. A senior specialist obstetrician of the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, Dr. Fred Pobi, noted the complication poses danger for the health of such girls.
If the patient is unfortunate, we may have to, depending on how bad it is, we may have to take out the uterus. So then the patient ends up with the uterus being taken out. And if it's a very young patient who has not delivered before, then you can just imagine.
Dr. Pobi suggests a lot more education on family planning efforts can help minimize the practice.
More public health education is done. I think it will go a long way because a lot of them don't know. The issue of family planning is also something that has to be, people have to be educated on family planning.
Abigail Ogumro York is a service provider at PPHE. Her facility has over the years given planning services and counseling and is worried about the increasing speed.
We have young women coming in, and it is because, you know, these abortion tablets, they are on the market. They sell them in the marketplace, in the chemical shops and all that. So they go there, they take the pill, and then maybe they start bleeding, and then they come. But when they come, we take them through counseling, and then we help them do the safe abortion for them.
Although the PPAG is at the forefront of education, she called for collaborative efforts to curb the rise in numbers of young girls dying from unsafe abortion.
We are still giving the information that if we are able to do it, if we can help ourselves, maybe the parents are being part of it, pastors, imams, opinion leaders, we all come together. I think it might be faster in reducing all this.
IPAS Ghana Youth Advisory Board, also a reproductive health services advocacy organization, thinks government must increase access to safe abortion care and comprehensive contraceptive services. The police administration has begun piloting digitization of criminal investigations in 26 police stations within the Accra-Tema regions. The FBI certified system installed at the Criminal Data Service and Verification Bureau of the CID headquarters will enable top hierarchy officers to electronically track and monitor progress of all investigations from Accra.
The emergence of advanced telecommunication technologies has moved the Commission of Crime a notch higher, requiring a smarter investigator. The sophisticated nature of crime again demands the use of technological skills and faster approach to investigations. And in line with the police transformational agenda, the police CID has engaged in the procurement of tested technologies and the training of personnel to meet the growing demand. The latest is the upgrading of the fingerprint center that has all fingerprints from 1957 already captured digitally. Again, investigators from 26 selected police stations within Accra and Tema region have been trained towards piloting complete digitization of criminal investigations.
This means that at headquarters here, the IGP will sit in his office and know what is happening at East Legon Police Station. He can know how the case is being managed, and he can also give direction as far as crime investigation is concerned.
Additionally, all crime officers from the headquarters through the regional commands to the district officers are being exposed to effective investigative techniques and the transformational agenda.
One of the key indices to rate your performance is how you treat persons who deserve your attention. Respect for human rights, especially that of suspects.
The training was to also help the crime officers understand best practices and how the Attorney General's Department operates for enhanced prosecution.
You have to first of all investigate the case well before you come to the conclusion that we don't have enough evidence. Of course, if we don't have enough evidence, when it comes to the Attorney General, we will say so that we don't have enough evidence. But if the evidence is there, let's get it so that we'll be able to do a good job.
The Inspector General of Police, David Asantia Pietu, urged the personnel to be more responsive, adaptable, and extra professional to help prevent and curb crime.
Well, away from that, let's get back to our earlier story on the NDC, and let's speak to Dr. Brenya. He joins us by Skype this afternoon. He is a senior lecturer at the Department of History and Political Studies at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Good afternoon, Doctor, and thanks for your time.
Good afternoon.
Well, Doc, let's begin with, so a document available indicates that all the 10 regional chairmen of the NDC have rallied their support. You know, they have said that the former president should, they have urged the former president to go for 2020. What does this do for the unity of the party?
Good afternoon to the able listeners of TV3. For me, I believe that their action does not in any way hinder the unity effort of the NDC, because I believe strongly that these individuals are acting in their private capacity as citizens or members of a political party, not in any way as their position of the chairman. And that's strongly what I believe.
Well, Doc, during the Cape Coast Unity Walk, you know, the former president said that now this is not the time. So are the regional chairpersons not respecting what he said?
If an interview granted by the Northern Regional Chairman is anything to go by, I think some of the reasons that he espouses, which makes me believe that they acted in their private capacity, was that, one, they said that after 10 months after the lost election, many of the supporters at the grassroots are sort of discouraged. Nobody has come down to either thank them or to show some sort of appreciation.
Okay.
That will remobilize. They said that they've also not seen any of these actors or individuals who has been expressing interest in leading the party actually starting to engage them either formally or informally, so that they would see that there's someone to take over the party. So they feel that there's a sort of vacuum. It is based on this vacuum that they are advising the former president to take up that role. And he did actually go on to say that if anybody should come up today, that they will receive that individual. It's just that they want to see somebody take up that role. I believe strongly that it was just an advice. An advice that the former president said, no, not right now. I'm going to wait until the NEC gives the go-ahead. And if only we are going to treat it as an advice and not read too much meaning to it, then I don't think that it's going to affect any of the units.
But don't you think that a lot of people will raise issues or would read meanings into, looking at chairman of these regions, going to him, urging him, according to them, they are urging him to go for 2020, and that there are other candidates as well who also aspire to also vie for 2020. Hello, Doctor.
Who are interested will look at this. Yeah. Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, I said it depends on how we want to interpret the action of this 10 chairman. They said they've not received any of those who are interested, beyond hearing from social media and on regular media that there are some people who are interested. If I was one of them, I would look at it as the opportunity to go down there and actually engage them. Because if really you want to lead the party, you should at this time, either formally or informally, be engaging the individual.
Okay.
And two, it depends on whether we want to see that this individual control the minds of the many individuals that will actually cast the ballot to select the leader on that day. So I believe strongly what their action could actually generate is the fact that should any other person other than Mahama emerge as the leader, there will be that level of distract if they are still chairman of the party.
Thank you.
Other than that, I'm sorry.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Brenya, for your thoughts on this particular issue. I think that over the period we will be discussing it. I have been speaking with Dr. Edward Brenya, and he is a senior lecturer at the Department of History and Political Studies at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Well, let's get to Kumasi now and serve as justice, or there will be curse on the police and the government. This is the request of a family of a young man allegedly brutalized to death by the police in Ashanti. Awudu Osman alias Boga was named among suspects who used motorbikes to rob their victims at gunpoint. Police claimed he died instantly, but the family of Awudu is disputing the report. Family members tell Kofi Edu Donfe the body will not be buried until justice is served.
The Ashanti Regional Police Command yesterday held a press conference claiming that suspect Awudu Usman was gunned down. They suspect he is a dealer in arms, and indeed he brought them to this particular home to show them the pile of arms. In the process, Awudu attempted to escape, according to the words of the police, and they shot him. But the family today is disclaiming this claim by the police, and we are here to ascertain what the concerns of the family is here at the home of Awudu.
And they have not found anything. They have not found anything. It's just a knife. They said that they found a knife that he uses to, he's a what do you call it, a butcher. You understand? We know him since we were young. We do that. So it's those knives that they have taken away. Now, you have taken him, you handcuffed him, okay, and you sent him to the police station. Now, the family, the following day, the family did the follow-up, and without any explanation, okay, they didn't even allow them to see him, okay, For 3 days, anytime they go there, they don't allow them to swim. So it was yesterday that they have decided that no, the way things are going, let them go to the mortuary and find out, okay, whether they will have killed him. And indeed, when they got there, the dead body was there with the 2 shots on the chest. You understand? That is what is baffling us. Indeed, we don't understand. We need an explanation.
Where is the wife?
The
okay.
wife is here.
But when they came here, no shot was fired.
No.
What job does your brother do? Was he doing?
Yeah, my brother actually, he was a scrap dealer. Even before he traveled to Europe, okay, he buy the fridge and break it down and then sell it. That's the work he was doing until he gathered some money. Through that, he traveled through Libya. He passed through Libya. Even he went for the first time and he came back. He couldn't make it. He couldn't make it.
He's never dealt in guns.
Never. Listen, I'm telling you, I have.
Whether legally or illegally.
Whether legally or illegally. Whether legally or illegally. I don't know about that one. And I'm very close to him since we were young.
Has he been buried? Have you taken the body to bury?
We have not buried the body yet.
Where is it now?
It is at the mortuary.
Before.
We are demanding for justice.
What justice are you demanding?
The justice we are demanding is that this country is governed by the rule of law. And we know our rights and civil rights. You understand? Therefore, what we know the responsibility of police is to protect us. So now they have come and arrested him alive. They put him handcuffed and they sent him to their custody. And he died there. So we need an explanation. That's all. We need an explanation. And we saw 2 shots on his heart or on his chest. So we want an explanation. How come he died? And how come those bullets are on his chest? That's the explanation we are looking for.
So you are not getting him buried until justice is done?
Exactly. We are demanding for that justice.
Are you considering legal processes?
Of course. The right legal process must be taken off.
And that is what the family of the late Audu is demanding here at Kenyase, close to Kumasi. They are saying until justice is done, they are not going to bury their brother in accordance with Islamic tradition.
Kofi Edu-Domfe will definitely bring us more on this particular issue. Let's get to Labour front. And organised Labour has hinted it will drag the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, SNIT, to the Supreme Court from next week. Labour wants an interpretation on why SNIT's formula has shortchanged Ghanaian workers. Organised Labour tells TV3 its investigations have revealed some pensioners lost more than 20 to 28,000 cedis to their benefits after retirement due to wrongful calculations by SNIT.
According to Labour, SNIT uses an annuity factor to calculate contributions which most pensioners don't understand. The aggrieved persons sought the assistance of Labour to recalculate for them, while others have ignored the calculations. Already, some have lost more than 28,000 cedis on their benefits, thus reducing their pension contributions. Labour has petitioned SNIT to explain but is yet to respond. It has agreed to consider a legal action.
We are just going to court for interpretation. It is not that we are taking SNIT to court or anything. We want the law to be interpreted properly so that we understand it. If we have to go to court, what is wrong? We will go to court to make sure that we understand what SNIT is doing. If what SNIT is doing in some cases is not right, they will stop because the court will have now interpreted it better for all of us.
Meanwhile, Organised Labour and the NPRA have convened a meeting to discuss the amount in a temporary pension fund account, TPFA. As of September 30, 2017, the TPFA had accrued 8.4 billion cedis for both private and public sector contributions, representing 4.2%. Out of the amount, private sector contributions amounted to more than 500 million cedis, while more than 200 million cedis had been transferred. By November 2, 2017, the TPFA had again accrued 2.9 billion cedis of public sector contributions, but yet to be transferred. Deputy Minister of Employment and Labour Relations, Bright Rokubrobi, said the transfers would be done by the end of this month.
Sitting down and talking to Labour, we have even realized that it's only 12 months in arrears. All these have been calculated and the money will be transferred.
At the end of this month?
Sure. Take it that we are working so hard to get it transferred by end of month.
Chief Executive for MPR Hereford Atakrofi assured of a smooth transfer to the registered schemes.
The process is far advanced for the transfer to be done. So I will entreat organized labor to repose their confidence in us and to work with us collectively so that we can all effect the transfer of the money to the various schemes.
In other news, a former Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Inusuf Hussaini, has told TV3 he's yet to be contacted by National Security 5 months after admitting he intentionally bugged his office to monitor conversations. In July this year, the Lands Minister, John Peter Mewu, uncovered a recording device planted to monitor happenings in his office. Inusuf Hussaini later owned up as being behind the device. He spoke to Komla Kluche.
Have you been invited by?
No, I've not been invited yet. I've not been invited yet.
Have you made a contact?
I don't need to make any contact with anybody. I don't need to. I'm here. I'm available. And if they need me, they just invite me. I'm prepared. I can tell you on this matter, I've always said there was no aforethought bad intention. The thing never even worked. It never even recorded a pin. It was never activated. I regret, though, seriously, having left it in the office because to all intents and purposes, it was useless. This hula baloo, why did I own up? I own up because I thought that people would suffer vicariously for my act and I should own up and face the consequences myself. And that's why I did it out of my belief that I need to take responsibility for my own.
Nobody else contacted you saying?
Nobody contacted me. I just read it and I said, no, I should talk about this.
A former commissioner of the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, Justice Francis Emil Short, says the establishment of the Office of a Special Prosecutor is rather narrow in focus. He is of the opinion that efforts directed at fighting corruption must be preventive in nature and not only prosecutorial. He spoke on 20 by 20. Well, Make a Date will show this particular story after this break. Stay with us. Let's do business now. And the governor of the central bank, Dr. Ernest Addison, wants the Association of Ghana Industries to take advantage of an improving macroeconomic environment to scale up implementation of policies and measures aimed at accelerating growth. Speaking at the 57th annual general meeting of the association, the governor stressed the need to consolidate the gains made.
The consistent reduction in the policy rate, the gradual fall in inflation levels, the relative stability in the exchange rate, and the strengthening of foreign reserves are said to be good indications of recovery and improvement of the macroeconomic environment. The Association of Ghana Industries said it acknowledges the relative stability and commends government for it. It, however, indicated that the stability being achieved is taking too long to translate into the expected reduction in lending rates. It also said the cost of electricity still remains a challenge to many industries, and the current tariff structure where industry subsidizes residential consumers is not best practice.
The response to the improvement in macroeconomic environment has been very slow, and I urge that we re-examine the economic fundamentals to ensure that such gains in the economy translate into lower interest rates for businesses.
The governor of the Bank of Ghana said as the macroeconomic fundamentals are improving and growth is gaining momentum, members of the AGI should expect to have easy access to credit and the cost of credit reduced.
We must consolidate the gains that have been made so far while supporting ongoing reforms to improve the business environment. We at the Bank of Ghana remain committed to further reforms to enhance access to credit and the cost of credit, and will pursue the necessary legal and institutional reforms in this regard. The challenge is for the private sector, which includes your distinguished members, to take advantage of these signals.
The Minister of Trade and Industry indicated that government is shifting the focus of economic policy from taxation to promoting production.
In all serious economies, the structure of taxation is such that you allow people to succeed and make money, and then you can ask them to contribute, not the other way around. You don't kill the companies and then still expect them to be able to contribute to taxes to support the economy.
The Association of Ghana Industries, established in 1957, is the leading voice of manufacturing industries in the country and is dedicated to advocating policies that advance the growth and development of industries.
The Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, COPEC, has raised concerns about destroying the cylinder recirculation model of liquefied petroleum gas. LPG distribution will put pressure on consumers. This comes in the wake of a pending marginal increase in the price of LPG by the National Petroleum Authority.
According to the National Petroleum Authority, the cylinder recirculation module, which the government intends to implement, will be the cause of the marginal increase. The presidency gave the green light for the module to be implemented following an explosion at an LPG station at Atomic Junction, which killed 7 people and injured 132 in October this year. This COPEC sees as welcome news, but comes with an extra cost to the consumer.
The plants to be erected or set up across the country, they will come at a certain cost. The consumer may have to pay for it at some point. And so it is not surprising that once we are going full haul with the recirculation program, Ghanaians should expect LPG prices to go up a little higher. There will be some new margins, definitely, to cater for the plants that are now going to have to bottle the gas.
However, the LPG Marketers Association and the Association of Gas Tanker Drivers have kicked against the policy. The new model, proposed by the National Petroleum Authority (NPA), means that LPG bottling plants will be sited away from highly populated areas and commercial centers. These plants will procure, brand, maintain and fill empty cylinders to be distributed to consumers and households through retail outlets and stations deemed to be low risk after a government assessment.
We have equally cautioned that the recirculation should factor smaller gas bottles or cylinders. It should be made available at all the outlets so that people who don't have too much to be able to pay 89 cedis, 84 cedis and can pay 20 cedis. There should be something also at the outlets for them.
Meanwhile, the executive director of COPEC, Duncan Amwa, looks forward to some tax cuts and new policies in the petroleum sector in the 2018 budget statement.
We would be expecting and watching keenly in the 2018 budget government's attempts at scaling down some of the taxes further, or government introducing policies that would ensure that no matter how bad the international market gets, you and I would not be asked to go and pay too much at the pumps.
In international business news, President Donald Trump has said the U.S. will no longer tolerate chronic trade abuses in the defiant address at the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation APEC summit in Vietnam. He said the U.S. was prepared to work with APEC countries as long as they abide by fair reciprocal trade. Mr. Trump said free trade had cost millions of American jobs and he wanted to redress the imbalance. He has also already visited China and Japan as part of a 5-nation Asia tour. APEC brings together 21 economies from the Pacific region, the equivalent of about 60% of the world's GDP. We'll take a break here. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this break.